You're a gentleman.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep recording.
Alrighty. So the next one is another like touchy subject, and I think I've covered it with you before, and it's do you prefer so I'll ask you first. You're getting married, right? Or you're like as of now, would you prefer a girl who is a virgin if you're gonna get married?
Yeah, we did. We did talk about this.
So what's your personal preference?
To me, this is my personal preference. I don't think that it matters to me because I feel like the thing that I'm looking for has like nothing to do with
her
that.
character.
Like, that affects it 0%.
So you don't think that like if this person slept around a bunch, you don't think like even now she has good character? Like, because I still feel like a bad track record, like those things can resurface.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I'm not just going to sit here and just be like, yeah, no, I wouldn't judge her at all.
For sure. Every girl is different, and it really depends. But it's where I'm getting with this argument is I personally feel like most men, Muslim or not, like deep in their heart, I feel like they prefer a virgin.
Absolutely, for sure. But I'm just saying, so the way that I think about it is like widowed women, for example. It's like, I feel like I would marry a widowed woman, like no problem, for sure.
Because the man ain't around no more.
Well, not even that. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like one of the biggest things, if we're looking at it like very realistically, it's like the only way that I would even consider someone for marriage is if their character had brought that like up anyway. So it's like you have to think like realistically, if someone's sleeping around and that's kind of still in them, it's like, would that even attract me? Would that even be something that, would she have the type of character that like incites marriage in me or whatever? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like those two things, they kind of don't go hand in hand. The type of woman with a character that I would be attracted to, and like some lady who likes to party or sleep around or whatever. But I mean, I think that on another note, it's like, if say that is the case, like her past, like whatever, high school, college, whatever. Because
I've known some situations where it's like some of them are converts too.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's what I'm saying is like sometimes when they get mad at their husband, like those things will resurface back up.
For sure, and I feel like that is somebody with a character that I feel like I wouldn't even want to have married anyway, regardless of what she'd done in the past. It's like there are certain things that kind of come with that character. For example, it's like ignorance or I don't know, arrogance. Like there's a lot of things that kind of comes with that I feel like I wouldn't have been attracted to her, and not for the reason of like she's not a virgin, but just because of other reasons. But what I was gonna say is like, another thing is like, I feel like, let's say for the case like this woman, she does have like a past, right, in like high school or college or whatever, and then she kind of like becomes different, or starts to behave differently, or like more on like the deen or whatever. I feel like those things wouldn't even come up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because one of this, it's actually a sunnah to like, you're not supposed to talk about your bad deeds. So it's like, I don't know, somebody with the right character, is like, it wouldn't be an issue.
I think like the reason this like it ends up happening is like it starts with small differences and small disagreements.
Yeah, for sure.
And then they slowly start to split their relationship apart until one of them just wants to make the other one mad. And I'll give you an example. So in Islam, a woman can't and shouldn't travel alone. But in today's society, you have a lot of Muslim girls that are all about that.
Yeah.
And if it's like that's something as minor as that is something you want to look into before getting married to a person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. It's I agree. I didn't even know about that, to be honest.
Yeah. And like even as a man, I wouldn't want to travel by myself. Like just personally, I'd rather have somebody with me. But it's like, but women can't travel by themselves. They need to have like somebody with them. So it's like you have a lot of Muslim girls that do that. Yeah. And it's like, so if I found this perfect girl and she was into that, and I told her you can't do that, or I don't like you doing that, it's like, and I feel like that kind of thing it wouldn't be like a big issue at first, but it's something that would really like you know, when she's working and she wants to travel with her, like her coworkers and stuff like that, it could split a relationship apart, and it has actually.
No, absolutely. That makes perfect. Like, I agree with that 100%. Like, a lot of people like overlook a lot of things in the beginning, and that's something that, like, that I really try to like pay attention
like
to.
You have to bring it up like early on,
very early.
And it's like, alhamdulillah, right now I don't really have any relationship like issues, but it's like there is small things that I like kind of brushed off, that it's like I can slowly feel them growing
with
Danya? Kind of like a tumor, and you got to address them. You got to like chop them off while it's still early. Like you got to like make sure, like, look, like this is of importance. It's like, what do you feel about this?
Yeah, I agree. But I
like
think
a lot of people just try to, I'm sorry, like I was going to say, like a lot of people, they think like the big issues are like when you want to have kids, you know, it's like the big, it's like those are like way early on, you know what I mean? But it's like there's a lot of smaller things that could grow so big if you don't like address them.
For sure.
I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
What I was going to say is like, I don't know, maybe it's just like my naivety or whatever, naivety, however you say it, but it's like, I don't know, like, I just try to not, like, I feel like I'm very simple, man. And I feel like you are similar, and I feel like Danya is even
I'm simple, but I do have, like, I noticed myself becoming more OCD as I've grown older. Like,
I feel like I've grown less OCD. Like, just kind of go with the flow. Like, in some ways, I like to think, or at least I feel like I already have, like, a family, like, already. So I'm kind of going through, like, problems already that I feel like I shouldn't even be having to deal with, right?
Absolutely.
With my mother and my sister, it's like, man, we'll be having, like, conversations about just, like, ridiculous stuff. Or me and my mother are trying to decide, like, should we move into this or this?
Yeah.
And I'm, like, trying to...
Adult conversations.
You know what I mean? And so it's like I've kind of learned to just, like, I know that she's choosing the wrong thing and she's disagreeing with me, but I'm gonna do it anyways just because she, you know, wants to do it. Also, she's my mother, right? And so then we'll do that, and then we'll mess it up, and then it's my responsibility to fix it.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
You're planning that ahead.
It's like I'm already in the mode where it's like, yo, you can't win. Like, you cannot win, at least against your mother, right?
Yeah.
It's like you cannot win with these things, and so it's like I don't know. I'm already like for that, like not getting my way. So on the flip side, it's like, if, you know, inshallah, when I get married, I feel like I'll have no problem with that. I think the main thing is like, this woman needs to be like on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like I'm so fine with not getting married at all if I don't find someone that's like on it. You know what I mean?
What do you mean by on it?
Like, just like
responsible?
Not responsible. I just mean like Islamically, right? Like that's like a big thing. So. This is crazy. Somebody was asking me, like, would you marry somebody who doesn't wear hijab? And I was like, man, it's such a, like, it seems like my initial instinct would be yes, actually.
Oh, yes.
I feel like it would be yes, but then I think about it and I'm just like, man, like, I wouldn't want to think of myself as like a judgmental person at all.
Yeah.
But then I think, like, man, what are the things that could come out of it? Like, I don't know. And so, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think I initially, whenever that person like first asked me, like, yo, would you marry somebody without hijab? And I was like, yeah, for sure. Because, you know, my mother like stopped wearing hijab, and it was like, I don't think that she's like a bad person or a bad Muslim or anything. But then at the same time, it's just like, man, there are certain things that are like small things that kind of show like a certain amount of character, at least. And then on the flip side, there are people that do wear hijab and they're just like terrible people.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think my answer still stands. I think I still would, but it's like I do look at small things like that.
And you should. And that's something that's like, I've had this conversation with, like, you know, my fiance a lot about wearing it, but it's like you can't really do much other, like, you can't push it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like the best thing you could do is like, here's what I told her. I was like, every time you ask me what you know, in her perspective, like, should I wear it? You know, what do you think about me wearing it? And I told her, every time you ask me that, just know I will always say I prefer you, like, to wear it. And and you know, and she's like, yeah, like, I don't want my kids in the future to ever see me without it. Right. But I was like, how do you, like, you you're gonna always look ahead. Like you need to, like, if you're gonna make a big change like that, you need to make it like as soon as possible. Just get it out of the way, because with it is going to come a lot of anxiety, a lot of social anxiety. You know, it's just something that you need to like tackle as soon as possible.
For sure.
And
no, absolutely. You know, it's so crazy, because that actually made me think of something. It was like, there's a lot of things that I feel like that I don't want my kids to see me doing. Like, for example, like cursing, right? I've been trying to, like, I feel like I curse very seldom. Like, I don't just be like cursing a lot, and I try to just replace words with other things and stuff, because I don't think I would ever want my kids to hear me.
I've only heard my dad cuss twice in my life.
For real?
Yeah,
and it's
like not in Arabic.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so it's like certain things like that. And so one of the things for me is like, I'm confident, like if I work on myself, like I'll have no problem like finding a wife. Like I'm pretty sure the way that I'm gonna get married is like gonna be like arranged. Like I'm like pretty sure it's gonna be Jamila's friend or Asia's friend.
So
or my
like in a way arranged, but not like, yeah, I guess you could call that arranged.
Like I'm not gonna know her.
It's not like traditionally arranged.
No.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be like Asia's friend, or it's like I'll tell Asia, like, you know, like
singlemuslim.com.
And then she's gonna be like, hey, I have a friend that right now what I'm mainly focused on is like myself. It's like I have to, like, you know, when you do that, I feel like those types of things kind of attract the right person.
Yeah. It makes you like, because like when you look at like the way that Prophet ﷺ used to live, it's like he had all the quality traits that like a lot of role models like, you know, a lot of people that are considered like the best of the best, like Steve Jobs and like Elon Musk. It's like he had a lot of those, like they have just a few of his traits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, the whole like being active and productive, like from the morning early on. It's like right now, I'm sorry, I'm like, that's my OCD like kicking in. I'll repeat the same thing over and over again. But let me reset. So basically, there's this whole movement right now where you wake up early in the morning at like 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And you start your day early, and you get more done in your day. You read books early in the morning. You exercise in the morning, and you just lead a healthy, proactive lifestyle.
Right.
And it's like with leading a good Muslim life, like waking up for Fajr and staying. It's actually sunnah to stay up after Fajr as well. Yeah. So it's like, you know, it's a lot of like things that come with it.
For sure.
Like, no. So literally the recipe for success comes with like being a good Muslim.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think about that all the time. I mean, somebody even brought up something about like fasting. It's like the scientific and the biological benefits of fasting is like insane, and like people are saying like, you know, hey, you should fast like from dusk till dawn, kind of like, because these are the benefits. It's like it cleans your body and all this. And there's Sheikh, I think Mufti Mink was even saying, he's like, man, these people are just fasting. You know, like they're saying it's some kind of health cleanse, but it's just like
they're fasting the way that we should be fasting.
In the way that Muslims fast. And so, but yeah, man, I think that, you know, like doing like the right thing, it will attract, you know, and it will kind of like, what is the word? It'll kind of encourage other good behavior. You know what I mean? So it's like that was one of the things. It was somebody, my little sister Jamil was even telling me, she was like, man, it's actually one of our friends. Like, we have a friend who's a girl who I feel, in my opinion, takes the opinion of the guys too seriously.
Which guys?
There's a group of guys, and there's a girl who's been around forever. She's good.
Oh, you're talking about her friends?
Yeah, her friends.
Okay.
And so I think that she has good intentions. Like, I genuinely believe that she has good intentions, and I think that she's trying to make herself better as a Muslim. But one of the things that I've never really spoken up about it to the guys or to her, but I do believe that I don't want her to feel like, you know, I have to do this because these guys are telling me, like, you know, I should. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, the hijab, right? I know the guys have told her, yo, you should wear hijab, you should wear hijab, you should wear hijab. And I feel like she's starting to wear hijab more, which is not a bad thing at all.
Yeah.
It's just like, for what reason? Because at the same time, I know these guys very well, and I know that they have shortgomings as well. You see what I'm saying? And so it's like, I don't know, it seems like a lot of times, I don't know if it's just like a,
it's not within your heart, but so it's a good thing that she started, and it could end up becoming like from within.
I think it is. I think it is genuinely from within, and it's like maybe the guys are just kind of there as encouragement.
So I feel like there's nothing wrong with encouraging, but there's definitely something wrong where it's like
pressure. That's what I think it is. I think that's what it is. It's like sort of positive peer pressure. The problem is, it's like where I feel like the intention is wrong is actually not in the young lady. I think it's actually in the guys. I think what the guys see is like, you know, Muslim women wear hijabs. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's something that you can see on, you know, at face value. It's like you see a Muslim and you can immediately tell when somebody's a Muslim or not based off their hijab a lot of times. But at the same time, there's some things that I feel like are maybe not more important, but at least as important as the hijab for the men. Yeah. And one of those things is like your awrah, right? Yeah. These guys play basketball, and they play basketball in shorts that go above their knees, but nobody says anything about that. And it doesn't seem like it's taken, you know, as serious as like the hijab. Yeah. And so it's like, I don't know if we're just kind of desensitized to kind of the men's version of the hijab, or if we're just kind of ignorant, or if we're just kind of, I don't know what it is, but I know for sure that there's a lot of, you know, the young men that can be working on themselves, including myself.
So I don't remember the name of the girl who wrote this article, but it was basically an article about like feminism and Islam. Well, not feminism in Islam, but feminism and Islam. Yeah. And she's like a Hafiz girl, you know, and she's very knowledgeable and like smart or whatever. But it was a very well structured, first off, and a very well written like article talking about just like why a lot of female Muslims are turning towards kind of this like feminist movement, and how and like why it's happening. And she first explains like what is feminism and the history behind it, and how it's like transitioned into what it is today. Right. And but one of the key points is like a lot of men use like, they pull a lot of things out of context to control women, right? And which is very true, and they use it because of their culture, kind of. There's always been like a male dominance in culturally, in like most like Islamic countries' cultures, and even though Islam kind of teaches, you know,
equality. Well,
it not in terms of roles, but definitely in terms of worth. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And the big issue is like at the end of the day, what usually wins, culture or religion, and it's culture. Yeah. And so it's like but that's something that like, because we live in America now, and we're a new generation of Muslims, it's something we can kind of swap. We can put religion over culture and change things, because there is, and she was explaining how like our masjid alhamdulillah is pretty good, but even then, like in terms of programs for the females, like most masjids don't even have a prayer room for females. Yeah. So it's like, that just goes to show how much they care about women in the Muslim society.
For that particular example, though, I mean, it is required for men to pray.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true, but it's like, how often does, like, other than Jummah, how often does the whole prayer hall get filled up?
Filled up, for sure.
So it's like...
That makes sense. But yeah.
Like, a lot of times it's the mother who's bringing her kid to the masjid. My mom brought me to the masjid more times than my dad did. Well, when I was younger anyways. So it's like
even then, yeah, no, I'm with that too. Like, I'm for that too, but it's like, if you're a kid, then it's not necessarily required for you to be there either. I mean, the masjid is
it isn't
required.
It isn't, but it is in terms of my growth.
For sure.
You get what I'm saying?
You should be there.
Yeah.
100%, yeah. What do you think about, now that you brought it up, I'm glad you did. This is like the hot topic on the street, or at least it was maybe a few months ago. You already know what I'm going to say.
Go for it.
The feminism. Like, what do you feel like, firstly, do you consider yourself a feminist?
Not in the way, not the way internet culture perceives it to be.
I figured.
But
what is your definition?
I do believe that women should have like equal rights, but definitely that's not what the movement's become. If you think of feminism, I don't want to say most, but it's crazy because like the minority is the one who's the most spoken, The angry man-hating feminists are the vocal ones, and they tarnish, they give a bad name to like the equality, true equality. But if there is a woman who's working, if there is a female who's working, if there is a female who's working and they're doing a job better than a man, they should make more money than a man. It's simple as that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like that's what justice is, and that's what Islam teaches. So,
sure. My thing with like the modern feminist today is, I feel like in a lot of ways it is kind of artificial, right? The whole thing is, or not even artificial.
Some of it is artificial. You're right about that.
But it's like, I can't think of the word, but it's just.
And by artificial, I mean like, a lot of people want to join a movement.
Because it's a movement.
Because it's a movement.
Not because it's going for it. If you ask somebody, why are you a feminist? And they're going to give you a bunch of different things. There's kind of no real direction for the feminist movement. Like, if the definition for a feminist is like equality of the sexes, right?
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken. That is what the definition is. But ironically, they want to
be superior.
Exactly. They kind of want to diminish the male.
Yeah.
And it kind of defeats the entire purpose of what their whole movement is supposed to be about. Now, there's some people
I think the reason why it's kind of turned into that is because they feel like they're like they feel like women are right here and men are all the way up here, and the only way to bring them down is to diminish them and like tarnish them. Do
you feel like there is kind of inequality in America between the men and women?
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. And like one of my peers was she worked in a law firm, and she felt all the time like she was being belittled because she was a female. It's like all the men kind of had like their own like I don't know what's the slang term for like their own little like jock group, and then she would be the one that would like have to do all the busy work, and she would be. And another thing is like when she would have a really good idea, she wouldn't get credit for it. Like a man would take the idea and use it, because they feel like they could take advantage of her, and she can't do anything. So it's like, I do feel like that there is, and I think that's ultimately why a lot of women are angry. So, what do you think about vaping and Juuls in the school systems right now?
I don't know, but I've been off of social media for like, I don't know, maybe a few months.
It's a very big problem. Like, all these kids are like, because the issue is that it's so tiny. It's like a USB. And I was reading like how Snapchat kind of has like this social media kind of popping on it, and it was like saying that this mom was freaking out because her kid had lost his homework on his USB, and her kid was freaking out because he lost his USB with his homework on it. So she was like trying to like find his USB or whatever. It's like it ended up being a Juul. Like she posted a picture and put it on social media, and everybody's like, that's not a flash drive. So it's like, it's crazy because like they have a lot of nicotine in them as well.
So that was my next question. Does it involve any drugs?
They're addictive.
Dang. So what is it? It's not just water vapor, or is it vapor and nicotine?
It's vapor with nicotine in it.
That's crazy.
So it's like, and you know what's even crazier? Is like I was saying back when it was just vapor that this is harmful. Really? This is why. This is the reason why it's harmful. Because look what it's transitioned into. Yeah. It's like, do you remember a long time ago when I used to like I remember like I snapped one before, and I was very against the movement or just vaping in general, water vapor. And the reason why I was against it is because I knew that it was a slippery slope. And now it's become this kind of monster where it's like 50% of e-cigarettes, the market is Juuls. So it's and a lot of the consumers are these kids who are doing them in high schools, and it's very easy to conceal the vapor as well. You just blow into your backpack. So
what is wrong with these kids?
It's crazy. And I think, and we talked about this earlier about how social media has become this like negative monster. I think that another reason why it's become so popular is because of social media. And it's kind of,
I know they're like a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yeah. It's like, and now it's like, I feel like with social media added to like the factor, it's like a contributing factor to its like, to its usage. which is crazy because a lot of kids want to be popular.
Yeah,
and a lot of kids
kind of just want to have that.
Exactly, and a lot of kids also feel like depressed. It's something to do, like raise your hand or go to the restroom, and like, you know, while you have all this social anxiety and you're sick of school life in general, you have this vape which is easily concealable.
Are there any negative like health?
So I think there is, because of its addictive properties. I don't know 100%. There has to be. If there's nicotine in it, there has to be. But I think the addictive properties alone
are bad.
It's super bad. Like getting addicted to anything.
Yeah, that is true.
Pornography, it doesn't matter what it is. It's like, especially at that young of an age, it's like where it's like it's supposed to be the most important time of your life, where you're trying to decide what you want to do with your life, and it's kind of where you shape yourself. It's where you find your identity.
Vaping
their life away.
Dang. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really even seen. I mean, I might have seen a few, but I haven't really seen enough for it to be like a long.
I've seen kids at the masjid do it during Ramadan. Like,
really?
It's crazy.
See, I haven't seen that.
It's crazy.
I didn't see that, but yeah, I don't know. The thing.
And I've seen like good kids like want to try it and stuff like that.
Dang. I don't know, bro. I'm not sure about the jewels.
It's expensive too.
How much are they?
I don't know how much. I think the jewel itself is like 100.
What?
Yeah. Let me double check this because this is serious.
This is a hot topic.
But I think the cartridges, the pods, are also like super expensive. So let's look up a starter kit.
$9.
$49 for a starter.
$50.
But the pods, I think, are also very expensive too. So I think the pods is like, I want to say they're like 20. And keep in mind, stores are gonna like make the price a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
Online is always cheaper. And they have all these attractive flavors like mango, cool mint, cool cucumber, fruit medley. It's like candy.
Now that we're talking about this, what do you think about hookah?
I mean, I think it's wrong. I think it's.
You think it's harmful?
Yeah, I think it is.
That's what I was thinking.
It's more harmful than a cigarette.
It's so crazy because it's like so many people.
But
smoke hookah.
That's the cultural over like religion thing again.
Yeah. It's like most of our friends or most of like our mutual friends, the friends of friends, like smoke hookah, and it's like I had never really known for sure. I had always assumed that it was haram, but it was like there's some people, like good people that I know that are like, not to say that it's like smoking hookah makes you a terrible person. It's just to say like, do you feel like, because I don't know, at least for me, I didn't know for sure. Do you think that people are kind of overlooking it because everybody else does it?
I mean, always. That's always the case.
That makes sense.
It's that, but I feel like more strongly so. It's because it stems from an Arabic culture, an Arab culture, and like so they see like, oh, if it comes from here, you know, it must be okay. If all these Muslim Arabs are doing it, and you know, they spread the religion of Islam, like kind of subconsciously, you know.
Yeah.
It's like then it must be okay.